What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you're having a fantastic day. If you're new to the channel, my name is Parker Nierenstein, and this is Vehicle Virgin. Smash that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on, and if you find this video helpful, give it a big thumbs up. Life hacks. Simple little things that save you time and money. Whether it's using household objects or little tips and tricks you learn online, there are life hacks that can completely change your life and make it a bit more simple. But what about automotive life hacks? Are there any tips and tricks that you can learn that make owning a car easier? Well, it turns out there are. And today, I'm gonna give you 10 epic car hacks that'll change your life. Let's get rolling. The first one has to do with filling your car up with gas. It's something we do every couple days or every few weeks, depending upon the fuel economy of the vehicle. But surprisingly, people always tend to forget what side the filler cap is on their car, leading them to drive up to the pump on the wrong side, and that's pretty embarrassing when you then have to turn around. It also wastes your time, and you can solve that super easily. Did you know that most cars actually tell you from within the car what side your filler cap is on? Check this out. Let's go ahead and turn the Mercedes on here. Now, right down here is a little icon that looks like a gas station. Now, believe it or not, the arrow to the right of it, see it right there, actually means that the fuel cap is on the right side of the car. So you don't have to guess if you forget which side is it, the left or the right. That arrow will tell you. As you can see, the filler cap is indeed on the right side of the Mercedes. Another common problem, especially with older cars, is that the headlights start to get cloudy with time. Not only does it look ugly to have headlights where you can barely see into them, it also hinders the performance of the headlights themselves. If you're driving at night, well, you're not gonna get nearly as good of illumination on the road, and that's just not safe. Well, the good news is you can fix it very easily using some household items. Really, all it takes is a toothbrush, some water, a toothpaste, and then a rag to wipe it off. Let's try it out, shall we? Now, this headlight is pretty clear to start off, but let's see what happens. Got our toothbrush, put some toothpaste on it. Now, funny enough, whitening toothpaste actually works the best. Now, let's go ahead and rub it in gently onto the headlight. The mildly abrasive nature of the toothpaste actually helps take off some of that gunk that's left on your headlight. Let's go ahead and wipe it off and see what happened. It's hard to pick up in the camera. It actually did make a noticeable difference. It's easy to see pictures and videos online of cars that started out with super cloudy headlights completely fixed with some toothpaste and a toothbrush. Here's a tip for people who live in cold weather climates, like I did for 5 years in Michigan. Do you often wake up with your windshield completely covered in frost, where you have to spend 10 to 15 minutes, making you late for work, actually defrosting the windshield? Well, there's actually a simple fix for that. As funny as it may sound, if you park your car facing to the east, when the sun rises in the morning, it will actually defrost your windshield. Nature is pretty cool, and it'll save you time. If you live in a colder area, chances are from time to time you will experience your car's door lock actually freezing. Now, if you have an older car or the battery in the key runs out, that actually makes it impossible for you to either stick the key into the lock or turn it whatsoever. Now, here is what not to do. Absolutely, under any circumstance, do not do this. Well, it seems like a good idea at first. Pouring hot water into the lock may initially unfreeze it, but then you have all this water inside the lock and it will freeze, causing a much bigger problem than before. Instead, you can use a simple household object that you probably have lying around, maybe even in your car, and that is hand sanitizer. That's right, the alcohol content in hand sanitizer will, one, prevent it from freezing, and the ethanol and isopropyl alcohol will actually lower the freezing point of the ice inside, often allowing it to melt in a matter of seconds. And because of the nature of how hand sanitizer bottles are, this little tip at the end is super useful for squirting the gel inside of the lock. Once you do that, a matter of seconds go by, boom, it's completely unfrozen, stick the key in, and you can unlock your car door. The next car hack is as comical as it is useful. While I don't recommend trying this, it has proven to be quite effective. In certain instances, if you have small dents on your car, you don't actually have to pay a dent removal service to remove them. All you need is a plunger. You simply place the plunger at the problematic area, push down to create suction, and pull upwards, removing the dent. Now, I'm not gonna try this on this car, but several YouTube videos show that it actually is quite effective, like this one. Many people, myself included, suffer from having a very messy trunk. Let's go pop this open to reveal, well, a little bit of an embarrassment. Yep, just literally random stuff that can roll around and bang against the trunk, making annoying noises. Now, funny enough, this Mercedes comes with its own solution to that problem. It has a bag of sorts that pulls out and pushes down, and then you can simply put your items in there so that they don't roll around. The problem is that costs $550 and is a colossal waste of money. But I've got a much simpler, cheaper solution for you. That's right, you can solve the problem by just using a laundry basket. A laundry basket in the back of your car. You can place all the loose items into it. And voila, your trunk is organized. Now, let's be honest with ourselves. We live in a world where we can't get away from our phones, even when we're in the car. Hopefully, you're only using your phone for navigation, but often we want some sort of device to hold our phone because, let's be frank, putting it in the cup holder or just throwing it on the seat really isn't good enough. Now, you could go out and you could spend money getting a suction cup window-mounted one that holds your phone but sometimes falls off the window and doesn't work very well, or you could get one that would only cost you a couple of cents or be entirely free if you have this lying around. All you need are rubber bands. That's right, rubber bands. Take a medium-sized rubber band, and all you have to do is thread it through your air conditioning vents. So for this case, push it down here, and then using a pen, or in this case, I had this handy trim tool, you can actually pull it out onto the other side. It takes a little bit of effort, and then once you've got that, you can actually slip your phone through the sides of the rubber band, and it acts as a phone holder. How cool is that? Then you can use your phone for navigation and Waze because, let's face it, it's a lot better than your car's setup. Good old traffic, the bane of many of our existences. In fact, studies have shown that people spend an average of 42 hours per year stuck in traffic. 42 hours, that's an entire work week stuck in traffic. And if you live in Southern California, it's likely to be a lot worse than that. Now, what else comes to mind when you're thinking about traffic? Lane splitting. Now, it seems intuitive, right? If you're sitting here in the middle lane and to the left of you cars are going by faster, you change into that lane. And then all of a sudden when you're in that lane, it slows down, then the lane you're in speeds up, and you change lanes again and again and again to try to save 5-10 minutes off of your commute. Well, studies have shown again and again that switching lanes in traffic actually allows you to get to your destination, get this, in the exact same amount of time as if you were to have stayed in your lane. That's right, you are much better off staying in the same lane the entire time. Now, there are some hacks with that. Truckers communicate with each other on radio. Typically, unless there are restrictions, and obviously not in the fast lane, they're gonna be traveling in the lane that has the least amount of obstructions because they can communicate to their buddy up ahead to see what the deal is. Stay in your lane. Lane switching doesn't save you time, and it also drastically increases your chance of having an accident. And it's not worth it. If you get into an accident, trust me, you're gonna get to your destination a lot slower and with less money in your pocket than if you just maintained your lane. If you've enjoyed the car hack so far, leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already subscribed, please be sure to do so to stay up to date to the latest and greatest automotive content. I appreciate it. Let's get on to the next two, and trust me, the last one will literally blow your mind. Do you have a car with some scratches on it? Chances are you do. Now, potentially, you don't have a can of touch-up paint lying around, or you don't want to go to your dealership and go and buy an expensive can of touch-up paint that really doesn't give you all that much. So what options do you have? Well, here's an interesting car hack, especially if you have a daughter or wife, you might have this lying around already. Now, I'm just using this color for effect. Hopefully your car isn't pink, although if it is this color pink, then you are in luck. I have it. Just shoot me your mailing address and I'll send it right over. But many times you can use nail polish to cover up a small scratch on your car. Nail polish, of course, comes in tons of different shades and levels of pearl effect so that you can find one that matches your car's paint exactly. Now, I wouldn't do this on a large scratch or a severely deep one, but you'd be surprised once you apply a little bit of this, after you let it dry, you buff it out a bit, and it can hide a lot of different scratches. Maybe it's Maybelline, or maybe your scratch is gone. The last car hack absolutely blows my mind. Now, chances are you may have heard of it, but think that it's just a myth, that there's no way that this could possibly work. Well, not only am I gonna demonstrate that this car hack does work, I'm gonna show you the science behind it as well. So what am I talking about? Well, every key fob has a range. How far from your car can you actually go before the key fob can no longer lock or unlock your car? Right now, I'm standing pretty far away from the S-Class, but hopefully, as you can see in the video, you can see the taillights flashing. Now, since a lot of cars make audible noises when you click the lock or unlock button, it's a good way to find your car in the parking lot if you have indeed lost it. But what happens if you're out of range? Well, there are two simple hacks that you can use to extend the range of your key fob significantly using science. So check this out. Now that I'm far enough away from the car, if I click the lock or unlock button, it doesn't actually do anything. Note the car off in the distance there. Well, what happens if I point the key fob at my head? Notice, it's actually working now. Or at my chin? Same thing, and I'm not even pointing the key fob at the car. So what is going on? How is that possible? Try it again like this. See? It's not working. Point it at my head. And now it is. Now, before you go on thinking that I use special effects or this is some sort of hoax or myth, there's actually some science behind why sticking your key to your head and clicking the lock or unlock button actually extends the range of the key fob. The key fob communicates with your car via electromagnetic waves. The keys in the US operate at 315 megahertz. Now, what does any of this have to do with your head? Well, your head is filled with a lot of water. Lots and lots of water, and it turns out that ends up being a very convenient conductor for the key. When the electromagnetic waves are sent through the water in your head, the hydrogen positive ions are pushed apart from the negative oxygen ions in opposite directions, moving them up and down. This happens to be exactly the way a radio transmitter works as well. Electricity flows into a transmitter antenna that causes electrons to vibrate up and down, exactly like what I just described happens when you point your key at your head. The cool thing is the electromagnetic waves sent from the key fob actually combine via constructive interference. If you've taken a basic physics class, you may have heard of that. There's constructive and destructive interference. It combines with the electromagnetic waves now emanating from your head, thanks to the water, in a constructive interference, extending the range of the key fob. Once again, there's the car there. Doesn't work when I click the key, but when I touch it to my head, there you go. Now, in theory, this should work even better with a bottle of water, which I've conveniently brought. Let's see if that happens. Not working. Next to a bottle of water. All right, works from that distance. Let's go a little farther back. Still works all the way back here. Car is even hard to see at this point. It's so far away. Let's see if it works. Still working. All right, at this point, I've gone twice as far. Let's see if it works. Oh, a little bit too far. Let's keep walking forwards. Right there, I am more than double the distance without the water, and this actually works. I was all the way out there, and the key fob was working, and it doesn't even work without the water or without pointing it at your head from this distance here. Crazy. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you are lost in the parking lot and cannot find your car, and you happen to have either a bottle of water or a head, I hope you have a head, that's probably an important step, then you can almost double the range of your key fob just using that simple technique. Well, there you guys have it, 10 simple yet incredibly effective car hacks that can easily improve your automotive experience. Honestly, the last one I didn't believe was gonna work until I tried it out for myself, and I was absolutely blown away. If you enjoyed the video, smash that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. I look forward to seeing you next video.